Moin Moin and hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Donboxing. Today I have for you the Tang Sancai narrow bore ear tips and the Kiwiears Canta for you. And we will be starting with the shorter unboxing here, the Tang Sancai narrow bore. Yes, I've tried the wide bore, which are not great at all. I've tried the normal ones, and now we try the narrow bores. And okay, this is taped, that's why I can't open it. But the packaging here is again very reflective, iridescent style, very interesting choice I would say. And let's pull this out here. Yep, that's like double flange, kinda double flange design I would say. And let's see if we can remove it. Come on. Okay, struggling to get this open. Chip. And let's take a tip out here. So this definitely is a narrow bore. This looks like it could be 3 millimeters or so. Let's quickly take the measurement. Yeah, it's like 3.3 millimeters outlet, something like that. Of course, it's a tiny bit wider now when it's actually in here. So this is definitely on the smaller side. I think this kind of clocks in at like, yeah, 4 millimeters outlet here, the ST35 tip, so definitely more narrow. And yeah, it's also definitely a pretty long tip, as you can see here. Check this out. This is at least like 3 millimeters longer than the ST35. And you have this additional mantle at the bottom here, so it's like, can we flip it around? No, we can't. So this here, the front core or the front cone is a huge piece of silicone. Ooh, I have my doubts if that will be comfortable. I thought this would just be also like hollow, but it is not. It's just a big piece of silicone. And then you have the additional cone at the bottom here, making this overall a really long and really hard tip. Has the same shaping, or the same structure as the normal Tang Sancai tips, which can work for some, but don't necessarily need to. And I honestly don't know if this will fit me. But of course I will measure it, I will try it, tell you how the effects sound, and yeah, then we can already go to the Canta here. Canta in. Yes, I ordered the Canta, and this is a 1xDD to explainer set, and I think these are both planar tweeters. I think the DD does mid-range treble, and the planars only do ultra-high treble. But I would need to look this up to be sure. And let's see if we can open this bad boy. Remove the packaging here. That's the Canta, as you can see, and the packaging is pretty similar to most other IEMs out there. We slide this out, which thankfully is easy to do. And we have the packaging. It says again Kiwiears. Reminds me of what you get with the Quintet. Cardboard is here. You can see medium thick, but you can at least shake it out relatively easily, so that's nice. And then we get greeted with the Canta directly and the accessories. I think I'll start with the accessories. They come in a pouch, which have this additional thingy, so you can actually pull it out, or you just do rogue like I do and pull it out like that. And it opens then at the top, and this is just the warranty card. Carrying case here looks pretty standard affair. It's actually relatively hard. That's nice to see. Zipper is just black, no golden accents. Finally, I'm not a fan of golden accents. Zipper has a bit of problems in the corners here. That's not the smoothest, but it's totally fine. And then on the inside, before we take a look at the cable, let's quickly check out the accessories. So we get this set of silicone tips here, which is medium wide outlet, relatively thin. The outlet itself is a bit thickened. Looks like this might be a bit sticky. Need to try these out. These look pretty similar to this here in terms of how they're working. Yeah, it might be a tiny bit wider as an outlet, but not much at all. Material is also similar, it's also medium hard. And then we have these ear tips here, they look also similar in terms of their characteristics. It's a medium wide outlet, like 3.5, 4 millimeters outlet. Again, similar in terms of material. Like, why do we get 3 ear tips that are so similar to each other? Like, I'm not sure. Like, maybe we should have just put in a few ear tips that are different. But okay. Next, let's quickly check out the cable. And we start with the connector here. Yep, that's again very slippery, no logo. I don't think this is particularly great design. Strain release, though, at least does move. It releases strain. It's just a bit too short to do its job. And the cable itself reminds me of something that you also got at other HBB collabs. The mini, not the mini, how was the other one? The more expensive one, forgot the single DD one. I will put it in post here to the name. And yeah, so that means it has, I think, 4 cores that are just twisted together like this. And it's not really the smoothest out of the box, but let's see if we can get it smooth if we just... We can't, no, okay. So yeah, it's twisted. The cores are though medium thick, and it feels at least well rubberized, I have to admit. And when we go a bit further up here, again, no logo, just plain black. The chin slider actually has some friction. It could be a bit more, but at least there's a bit of friction going on here. And then last but not least, the top rubberization here. Medium rubberization overall. Bending radius is also a bit on the smallish side of things, but not too small. And then what I like here, colored L and R indicator here, I like to see that. Rubberization, yeah, you can see also the rubbery is not as springy, so that shouldn't cause too many comfort issues. I'm just not the greatest fan of this texture around your ear. Like if this hits just the wrong place, it can cause discomfort. And then last but not least, let's get the actual IEMs out. So what I can already tell, these things feel pretty heavy in the hand. Just before this, I unboxed the Lua and that felt way lighter. This here has quite a bit of heft to it in your hand. And also the shell size actually is relatively thick. Like the shell itself is not big, but for 1 DD and just 2 microplanars, this is relatively big IEM, like it's way deeper than I expected. And that I can also already tell this is a single piece design for the most part. That means all of this here is one part. Doesn't look, oh wait, no, the nozzle is... No, the nozzle is actually glued in. Sorry, correction, this is a 3-piece part design. Nozzle actually is glued into this silicone here, this resin. And then you have this top faceplate here that goes for this brushed aluminum industrial design. Nozzle outlet though is definitively on the shorter side of things. And also the insertion of the IEM itself isn't too long. It's like 2 or 3 millimeters. And also the diameter doesn't seem to be the widest. It looks like it might be 6 millimeters. Let's quickly go and check here. Oh, actually it's 6.5. Huh. It looks smaller than it actually is. Interesting. But behind that we are going to 5.3 millimeters. So yeah, that definitely is just a very wide lip here. So at least this keeps your tips very tight. And the actual mesh on the front here seems to be integrated well. And actually this build quality still feels pretty solid in my hand. And there's 2 pressure holes, one here, one here. No visible L&R indicator. Which isn't too much of a big deal because, yeah, this cable here had the left side with red colored, so that's nice. And then last but not least, the 2-pin connector here. It's flush here, it's well integrated, like it's just so like sanded or like directly poured in, not entirely sure how that's made. Only thing that is not the right thing is it's not color matched. But, I mean, it's not really that important. And yeah, that's it. I will still put a first impressions of this after this. And now quick first impressions for the Canta here. Again, I will first talk about how it sounds to me, just based on how I perceive it, the first like 5 to 10 songs. And then I will throw measurements and show you like how this actually measures. Yeah, so how it sounds like. It sounds actually pretty damn good. It is definitely more on the bright side to my ear. That means instruments definitely take a lead over vocals. And I would say it's kind of similar in a sense to the Zero, where the vocals are not like bad per se, but they're definitely a bit recessed compared to bass and mids. And then the bass, it has a good body, it has a good punch, a good weight, it also rumbles, and yeah, it didn't sound bad at all. But let me also note, I like treble, and you know, look at the graph. Yeah, this is pretty damn bright. And at times I even thought to me this was a bit too bright. The peak here at, wait, let me quickly check out, at like 9.5K and then the huge peak at 13K. Yeah, like I think both exist in this realm. With 13K peak, I think resolves to like 14K to my ear or 12K, like definitely not 13. So that means it sounds a bit unnatural. It sounds definitely not like what most people will probably enjoy, but it's not bad. It's just overall a bit on the bright side here. And the huge dip at like 6 kHz here to my ear isn't as strongly pronounced as the graphs make it, but it exists. And yeah, that's it. First impressions now. Yeah, it's not enough on review. It's just really how I perceive it and just a quick analysis of the graph after measuring it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions, recommendations, criticisms, please leave a comment. Donspektor out.